Hello and what's up, guys? It's your boy Dusiko from Gadget Berry. Today, it's not about gadgets, it's not about cars, it's actually about current affairs, but it's a topic that I've been avoiding for quite a long time. I've been avoiding to talk about this topic because of the implications that it might come with. So I'm gonna try and control my language as much as I can when it comes to this. I'm gonna try be as objective as I can. And of course, today we're gonna be talking about the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial. I'm only talking about this since there's been a major discovery that has been made recently that Kelly Khumalp might be the one that actually fired the shot. Well, there was news and there was a surprise to actually most of us. I really didn't expect things to turn this way.
Send me.
I understand, but and we decided not to collect any evidence from the kitchen door.
From the kitchen.
Yeah, Mr. Msia says something doesn't add up. Something doesn't add up. Why, out of all places that you took swabs and took forensic evidence from, why wouldn't you take evidence from the kitchen door? Because apparently this is where the intruders entered. Why wouldn't you take that evidence? And once you actually did take that evidence, why is it a fact that right next to the door there's a table, kitchen table, kitchen counter that had bullet projectiles or something from the bullet that landed behind the two glass jars? Then how wouldn't you see those glass jars? And if a bullet actually did fall to those glass jars, because I assume that when the bullet is fired it goes in speed, like it goes extremely high, it goes, I'm sorry, extremely fast. Why would that small piece that fell right next to the two glass jars, why wouldn't it break those glass jars or even crack them? Now that's a very interesting point, and that one is actually not posed to Mr. Messiah's evidence. It's just something that actually came to my mind right now, that the two glass jars should at least show some sort of damage, because a bullet is not plastic, it's metal, and it comes in an extremely fast velocity.
How long did you spend in hospital before leaving to the from hospital to the scene?
It was a very short time, my lord. Can be a minute or two.
So apparently the man only took like 1 to 2 minutes at the hospital, which I've thought of over and over again, and it might make sense because he says he met two police officers outside at the parking. So maybe he could have just said, guys, where did this incident happen? And then they just hopped into their cars and right away they went to the crime scene. But what's mind-boggling, and these lawyers have been asking him about this, and he seems to be so evasive when it comes to this. Why would the late Colonel, or rather Brigadier, I don't want to say surname, the one that was there before before Msia came to the one that Msia found on the scene, as well as other police officials, why wouldn't he give him the address? Okay, he says he wasn't in possession of the address, but the other police officers that were in and about the house, how did they manage to get the address? And the way that they got the address couldn't have been the same way that Messiah was gonna get the address. Like, I believe that somebody from that house, if things happened the way that they say happened, should have at least called the police, or must have called the police and told them that at address so and so something like this has happened, and would like to, for police presence to come through. I think it's very weird for him to be told to go to the to go to the hospital. What was he? Why would Brigadier tell him to go to the hospital to do what there? Because the body was at the hospital, but the crime scene was in Vosloorus. Why would he actually have to go to the hospital? Unless if he was to do some forensic works on the body. which I'm not too sure how the protocol works. I don't know if he can he can take some evidence of the body if it's been removed from the initial spot where the man was killed. I don't know what he was doing. Why would the brigadier tell him to go to the hospital whilst the emergency? Because this crime scene was an emergency, not to save the life, because the life has been despaired already, but it was an emergency, so things could be examined whilst they were still fresh, because this was an elite that actually passed away. So I'm sure that they had to put their utmost best, and that's what these lawyers are trying to do right now. But unfortunately, it's 8 years later, and things are very mind-boggling right now. As you see here on this post made on social media, it says defense lawyer advocate Masilela Tefo, who is representing 4 of the 5 men standing trial for Meyiwa's murder, said would attest that the gun that was used belonged to Longwe Twala, the son of the top music producer, Mr. Chico Twala. I'm not too sure how factual this is, because I'm still mind-boggled by the fact that Kelly could have done that herself. I really don't. I don't know if she did it, but I really don't know how she'd do it, because they have a child together. Maybe an argument arose or something happened. But here's this one. This one is Longwe Twala, Chico Twala's son. He was also being suspected, not by the police, but according to the case that was opened in 2019, he was amongst the suspects about regarding what happened on that house on the 26th of October in 2014. Well, it is alleged that the firearm that might have been allegedly used by Kelly Khumalo actually came with him. But what's weird with him is that after watching that Netflix documentary, he kind of contradicted himself in so saying that he couldn't call the police. He's saying that when the criminals came, I don't know whether before or after they had shot Senzo, he's saying that he ran away from the house. And he ran away, he left his phone. He's saying he ran away, he left his phone, so that's why he couldn't call the police. But then he also goes on to say that his phone was not taken. They couldn't take his phone, since this was apparently a robbery. They couldn't take his phone because he had his phone on his pockets all the time. Now, this is very weird. You couldn't call the cops when you were outside after you ran, but then because you left the phone inside the house. But then now you cannot make the call. So, but then now they couldn't take your phone because you had it in your pocket. That's very, very weird. But rest in peace to Senzo Meyiwa, of course. May his family finally find the justice that they deserve. And unfortunately, his father, who was really advocating for his sons, what in ubulungiswa ngesingisi, ubulungiswa. Oh, for his son to get justice. Yes, that's the word I was looking for. And unfortunately, Mr. Sam Meyiwa passed away before he could see justice being served for his son, because we all know that these 5 guys that have been arrested are actually there on allegations, and therefore they haven't been found guilty for the aforeclaimed crime that they are there for. But as I've been saying, I was very skeptical to make this video. You guys give it a thumbs up if you like it, and I really hope I didn't offend anyone all throughout my process. I tried to be objective as possible, and remember, this case is still ongoing, so nobody knows who's guilty and who's not. And here's Mr. Chico Twala, who recently, just before or during the first appearances in April of the Senzo Meyiwa case, who apparently told, not really apparently, because we all know that he told the media that, he told social media that I'm so happy, and I'm trying to quote him, paraphrasing, but he said, I'm so happy that I'm so glad that finally the law, or rather the police, have shown that I can also be arrested after I'd assaulted men that were working in my in my hood. I thought they were cable thieves, so I pointed them with a fake gun. I mean, who does that? How can you point people that you believe are really thieves with a fake gun? Because obviously, if those guys are real thieves or real criminals, they have weapons. And what's your game plan if they end up using their weapons on you, because you've already posed a threat to their lives? They do not know that it's a toy. And what is an old man like this doing with toy guns? What are you doing with toy guns? If you have toy guns, don't you have real guns? And couldn't have Longwe taken maybe one of your guns? And couldn't Longwe have a gun because his father models that type of behavior, that we can have guns around this house? I don't know. I don't know. You guys tell me in the comments down below. I'm not alleging anything. I'm not alleging anything, guys. You guys have yourselves a good one, because I'm definitely gonna be having myself a good one here. You guys subscribe so everything can be peaceful. Peace.